for me, it really helps to think about like specific musicians, even if it's not the musicians that are actually going to be playing the chart. I've written songs where it's like, oh, what if Miles Davis was going to be playing this? And obviously, that's not possible. Hey, arrangers! For this week, you'll be making a lead sheet for the tune that you picked last week, and this is going to be the foundation of your arrangement for the term. So I'm not gonna be too long in this video right now because I want to recommend another video for you to watch, one that we watched last term, but it would be great to go and watch it again, thinking about how you're going to rework the standard. And that's the video about coming up with chord changes. So I will put a link to that along with this video. In addition to that, I also am going to make another video later this week, hopefully technology permitting, that has me, you'll be able to watch me kind of going through the process of reworking a standard and into a lead sheet form. So I just want to go over a few things in regards to this specific assignment. So this lead sheet is going to be taking whatever tune that you picked and doing something unique with it. It needs to be you putting a twist on whatever the tune is. It's not to say you have to make it completely crazy different, but you definitely, it needs to be more than what you would find in a real book. It has to be more than you could than like you'd be able to like explain to your musicians. It's something you need to really, that in order for people to play it, they need a chart. So that's not to say that all music has to be that way. That is just what it is for this class. The other thing too, actually, in the world of arranging, we very often do not have the parameters of what we're writing 100% in our control. That's only the situation when it is your own band that you are writing for. And not only that, but like you're the one that booked the gig and you're producing the event. Then you get to make all of the decisions about the chart. But most of the time when we're hired as arrangers, it's hired by a specific person, and often we don't get to choose very much at all about how the arrangement's going to go. And so one thing that I think is a really useful skill as an arranger is learning to embrace a variety of predetermined factors. And often that's where we find the most creativity. So like a lot of times some of my favorite things that I've gotten to write have been for things that I would never choose. But because I got asked to do something, I figured out sort of my own way inside it, and it led me to some brand new territory, and that leads to growth and fun, and so that's a really important skill, I think, is developing that sense of learning to adapt to different situations, and it helps you grow as an arranger too. You develop a lot more skills and stylistic versatility. So yeah, I don't know, that was kind of a tangent, and I want this to be a shorter video, so let me just say the things that I want to say. So I rewatched the chords video, and I'm going to link to that. Some other things to think about for inspiration when you're thinking about what your spin on the chart will be. A big thing is lyrics. That's a huge area. And then so knowing how to interpret lyrics, thinking about words that you might want to lean on. And by lean on them, that might mean emphasize, leaving extra space or making them have a really special chord in that moment, or making them last longer or louder or higher or repeating. But you can bring out a moment, and a lot of times based on the lyric, that can tell you a whole lot. Another thing you can think about is, for me, it really helps to think about specific musicians, even if it's not the musicians that are actually going to be playing the chart. I've written songs where it's like, oh, what if Miles Davis was going to be playing this? And obviously, that's not possible. But I in my head, I imagine, what if I'm writing for Miles's 1958 band? What if I was writing for Miles's 1965 band? What if I was writing for Thelonious Monk? What if I was writing for Charles Mingus? What if I was writing for Frank Sinatra or Count Basie? A lot of times that can be a real fresh way to look at a chart and put it in another kind of context. So I would encourage you to sometimes just thinking about that. Pick who you want to do the chart for, even if they're not actually going to do it, and that can really help put you in a certain mindset or vibe. Another thing you might consider is the setting that it's going to be performed in. If I know something is going to be performed in a concert hall, and if I know that, if I have some sense of the context, I might decide it's going to be, I don't know, more, what's the word? More, I don't know, artsy, more planned out or crazy or something. If I know something's going to be performed, I don't know, in a bar, then I might go for something that's more groove oriented, because I might want, in my head, I might imagine that people would want to dance. Or maybe if I know it's going to, who knows, what if you're arranging something for to be played at the halftime show at a football game, and the marching band's going to play it? What if you're arranging something for your kid's birthday party, and it's going to be a bunch of 7-year-olds that are going to hear this arrangement? So and sometimes it can be really fun to imagine one of those things, even if that's not how it's going to be, because that can right away put you in a whole new context, and it can be a lot of fun. So I've written, I wrote a tune called The Clown Feature, which is meant as a circus tune. And I think I actually originally did write it for a circus, but then I reworked it for my sextet, and we haven't done it in years, but we used to do it in clubs, and it was always really really funny. And people enjoyed it because it was all of a sudden there's this circus song. So yeah, those are some ways you can think about how you're going to rework it. But you'll definitely, I want to see, you don't have to make everything different in the chart than the original version, but I would definitely like to see some different chord changes, and possibly some different rhythmic aspects, and it doesn't have to be the whole song, you know, but somewhere on that lead sheet, it would be cool to see you do something with what's happening rhythmically, or with or what's happening harmonically. And it could be like choosing one moment to make a big deal out of. It could be adding some space, so that, you know, but doing something that that stands out from the original, that is putting your own take on it. And if what you turn in isn't different enough from the original version, I will let you know and have you make it more different. And I can help give you some ideas about that, how to approach that too, if you want. And you're welcome to, I encourage you to like email me your ideas earlier on throughout the week, and I can give you some feedback so that you'll be on track to have something ready when it's due. And this one is actually due Tuesday because of Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So you get kind of an extra, it's not due until Tuesday. Anyway, let me think if there's anything else to say about it. I guess that's the main thing. So put your own stamp on this. Make it different than the original. Yeah. All right. Go watch the chords video, and thanks, guys. Hey, there's one thing I forgot to emphasize. What you are bringing for next week is a lead sheet of this. So it's going to be basically like, you know, just a lead sheet. It'll have the melody line and chord changes, and just for the main melody of the tune. I mean, if you have like, I don't know, like if there's an important transition section or something that you already have in mind, it is fine to include that with your lead sheet, but basically no more than you would find in a real book. We don't want, like, you don't need to do like the whole structure of the tune. This is just kind of the main melody of the song and chord changes. And that's all that we're after for next week. But this is going to be the foundation of your whole chart. So you want to have a strong lead sheet that has some detail in it, in terms of what's going to be happening harmonically and structurally. You can always change it, but you want to be giving yourself something to react to. Okay, thanks.